Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today this video is very late, but it is time for my November wrap-up. November started and I didn't expect to get through like any books because I was planning to do NaNoWriMo, and then a quarter of the way through the month or so I decided not to do NaNoWriMo, and I did a video about all my reasons for that, which I will link up here. So because I decided not to complete NaNoWriMo, I was able to get through 5 books for the month of November, which isn't too shabby. The first book that I read actually played a minor role in me deciding not to pursue NaNoWriMo 2015, and that book is The Best Yes by Lisa TerKeurst. This book is about making wise decisions with your time and with your life, and choosing to say yes to the things that get you closer to your goals, and say no to the things that don't get you closer to your goals. I really enjoyed this book more than I thought I would. There are a lot of just really good tips, and a lot of really good perspectives on the way we make decisions with our life. So this book got, I think I gave it 4 stars. It was really, really good. It was just missing that thing that makes it a 5-star for me. But I absolutely, absolutely recommend it. Then there were a couple times in November where I just was like in need of a comfort read. I just needed like a sweet, sappy, cheesy romance, which happens periodically. And so the first time it happened in November, I reached for Homespun Bride by Jillian Hart. This is one of the little Steeple Hill inspired romance books that you can get at like drugstores and stuff. This is a historical fiction set in like the Old West, and it follows a girl named Noelle who is a couple years out from an accident that took not only her sight but took her parents' lives. So she's adjusting to being blind. She lives with her aunt and her cousins and has a good life, and then one day a man named Thad re-enters her life. Thad was her first love, her high school sweetheart, and they had been planning to elope many years ago when all of a sudden he just disappeared. She's always been hurt by that, and now all of a sudden he's back home. They both have pasts and things they're trying to adjust to, but they can't help all of those old feelings coming back up. And so it's just a really sweet, sappy love story. No real depth to it at all. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars because I was just getting really annoyed with both Noelle and Thad because they obviously loved each other, but they refused to say anything or do anything to show it. And so there was just a lot of inner monologues of, oh, I love her so much, but she deserves so much better, blah, blah, blah. But I enjoyed it. Then a surprising thing happened in the middle of the month. I had a day off with, I was gonna say nothing to do. I had things to do, but I chose not to do them because I kind of had a headache. So instead, I spent the entire day sitting on my couch reading Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This book was good. Just like all of the other Rainbow Rowell books I've read, I read this in a day. She's just really good at writing those books that you can just plow through in one sitting. I have a review of this I will link all over here for you to see all of my thoughts, but basically this is Rainbow's take on a Harry Potter style novel, and it worked pretty well. It's essentially her fan fiction of the Simon Snow novels that only exist in Fangirl. It's just a really fun read. It's a modern day wizarding school with really cool characters and fun spells and just very enjoyable book. I don't watch other people's reviews before I make my own because I don't want other people's words to come through in my videos. But after I filmed my review, I saw Reagan's, and she made a point that I didn't think of, but it was very true, and that was that this book only works because we are such a Harry Potter generation, because the Harry Potter story and themes and tropes are all fresh in our minds. Carry On is essentially like the last book in a series, and if you don't know the whole kind of Harry Potter story and tropes that go along with it, you would probably be kind of lost with this story. However, being in that Harry Potter generation and knowing all about it, I really enjoyed this book. So I gave it a solid 4 out of 5 stars because it was just so enjoyable. Then I was feeling in the mood for another sappy romance, so I grabbed The Unlikely Wife by Deborah Ulrich. This is another historical fiction, also set in the Old West. This time, a man named Michael sends away for a bride. He sends letters back and forth and falls in love with this girl through the letters, and they get married by proxy, and she comes to his town to, you know, be married. Except when she gets there, she's nothing like the letters said. She can't read or write. She's very uncivilized in a way. She's grown up in Appalachia, very, very poor. She prefers to wear pants over dresses, and Michael is very much looking for a proper lady. But they are both strong Christians and believe that marriage is forever, and so they decide to make it work. It's just a really sweet story of them adjusting to life together, and of Michael learning to sort of let go of some of his prejudices and enjoy more fun and more whimsy in his life. And I really, really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which is something I don't usually do for these little love-inspired type books because they're so short and kind of fluffy, but I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one, and I plan on finding the others in this series because other people in the town and other people in Michael's family also have books by this author, and so I'm planning to find them and read them because I really enjoyed this one. I thought Selena was just a really fun character, totally outside the norm for these kinds of books, and it just worked so well, and I really, really, really liked it. The final book that I read this month was for a school assignment, and that was Names of God by Nathan Stone. This is a really short book. It's a Moody classic. It was written in like the 50s or something like that. But before it was written, it was a radio series talking about the different names of God and what they mean and how they relate to us. I so enjoyed this book, way more than I expected to. It gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. Basically, he takes the 12 names of God in the Old Testament from the original Hebrew. So we're talking like El Shaddai, Adonai, Jehovah, all the Jehovah compounds, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi, and of course Elohim. All of those get discussed in this book in such detail. He goes into how many times it's used in the Old Testament and the origins of the word and how the Hebrew people would have seen this name of God and how it would have made them react, and then how it should make us react as modern day Christians in light of Jesus, and how all of these names were pieces of God, and it was just the beginning of the work that would then be completed in Jesus Christ. So like I said, I thought this book was so much better than I expected it to be. I learned a whole lot from it. It is full of underlinings. I took a bunch of notes on it because I just found it really fascinating. So if you ever want to do a study on the names of God, this is absolutely the book you should go to. I did have a couple of problems with it, so I think I might have given it like 4.5 out of 5 stars just for these reasons. Because it had started as a radio broadcast, the beginning of every chapter starts with like a complete recap of all the other names we've discussed so far, which in print form is unnecessary because it's already a really short book. Like, we're not going to forget from one chapter to the next. Each chapter is only like 15 pages. So that was unnecessary. There were some like typos and things that were annoying, and there were a couple chapters that just dragged on longer than they should have, but overall this book was fantastic look at the names of God. So that's it. Those are the 5 books that I read in the month of November. Let me know down below if you've read any of them. If you want to read any of them, what do you think? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.